episode 201 of Timm Talk, the podcast about the DC animated universe, co-created by Bruce Timm. I am Chris Lord.
I'm Cameron Dexter.
And we are back for our final season.
Our senior year.
Yes. we get. And as Cameron pointed out before we started recording, the senioritis has hit hard, considering that neither of us looked up any trivia. I didn't write any synopses.
Hey, I did some trivia.
You did some trivia. But, to be fair, I feel like maybe the creators are also going through a bit of senioritis.
Yeah, so. we applied to colleges, we got in. We're now just coasting through onto bigger and better things in the future.
Yeah, I have to say, I don't know if these episodes are actually bad or if they just feel so underwhelming because we just hit some of the best episodes in the entire universe.
We hit peak DC over the past few weeks.
So I'm like, I don't know what. I was not super hot on either of these first two episodes. A little bit.
Yeah, Are we jumping straight into it? Are we going?
I don't know. We can amble a little bit. How's your weekend, Cameron? You were at Disneyland yesterday.
I was.
You were dapper dang it up. How was Dapper Day?
It was lovely. It's Dapper Weekend. I didn't realize today is the actual Dapper Day.
I guess normally it's Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah.
Remind our audience what your dapper costume was. / Totally not me asking because I forgot.
Oh, that's fine. I was Baymax in his battle suit. So it's the red and purple.
Right. Hey, we're getting a new Baymax series on.
We are. Did you see the trailer?
I did. It looked very
very
cute.
cute.
It's very, very cute. Yeah.
I had friends ask me at the park yesterday, like, oh, why aren't they doing Baymax when he's fighting? I said, because that's expensive.
Yeah, it is.
Fight choreography is expensive.
Also,
it's not having a bubble walk across the screen.
Yep. Also, it's very cute. He's going around just doing Band-Aid tutorials and looking for, local community centers.
Yeah, it's Disney getting into the medical field dramas.
Exactly. It's Disney's answer to ER.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a fantastic look.
Yes.
How was the park?
It was good.
Mm-hmm.
It was busy. It's moving. It's hustling. It's bustling. Things are happening again. We got fireworks. We got shows again.
That's good.
Yep. Dapper Dans are out, and they're dapper as always.
Dapper as fuck.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was just a really nice day.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I'm glad Disney's returning to some sense of normalcy despite the insane price hike.
Oh, yeah. There was the swing dancing was back last night.
Oh, good.
Which was
Okay.
Very nice.
Okay.
I very much missed that.
Yeah, that is really cute.
Mm-hmm. They had a band come out called the Fat Cat Swingers.
That's fantastic.
Yep, and they're lovely.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you who don't know, if you're looking at the Disneyland castle off to the left in this little Princess Corral area where there's normally character meets during the day.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What is it? Some Saturdays in the month they have a swing band come out and they have swing dancing.
Yeah, it's very fun. Saturday night starts at 7 p.m. But this time, since the Festival of Holidays is happening, which means nothing to anyone but the two people in this room.
The two people in this room?
Yep, that's it. That's the whole.
might you be overstretching the number?
I mean,
of people?
for our listeners, it's a big event that happens in Disneyland, California. Well, Disney's California Adventure.
Yeah, come on,
Cameron.
Come on,
I'm
Cameron, get it right. You claim to be a Disney expert over here. How embarrassing for you.
Where they have a bunch of food carts come in, and they have kind of different culture, music playing in different areas of the park.
Mm-hmm.
And so they have a really good a Jewish band that happens in
cool.
one section of the park. They have more Spanish music happening in another corner of the park, and then in the middle every now and then they'll have kind of the big band. Big band is in the style of music of the 50s.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Come out, and then they had the swing dancing band there.
Oh,
last night.
That's awesome.
So I'm very tired.
I bet you are.
Yes.
Well, you would appreciate this. Yesterday I went to a friend's birthday event. Shout out to my dear friend Nita. And it was a Harry Potter themed birthday.
Amazing.
And the only people that actually dressed up, the Hufflepuffs.
Of course. I mean, of course it's only the Hufflepuffs.
Because the Hufflepuffs would.
Yes. I would dress up.
I know you would. That's what I was telling people. My friend who's the most Hufflepuff that ever Hufflepuffed would have dressed up as well. I did wear blue shorts.
You know what? I appreciate that.
That was the closest I could do.
Yeah.
Because as a Ravenclaw, I am pretentious and wouldn't actually put the effort in.
Right.
Because Ravenclaws aren't used to having to try.
Right. It's effortless.
Yeah, we're naturally smart. And so we just don't put in the effort into things.
Exactly.
So, yeah. and we're so modest.
So modest.
So modest. Aggressively modest.
It's a very thin line between the Ravenclaw you're describing and the Slytherin I'm thinking of.
That's very true. It's very, very true. Maybe I do have a bit of Slytherin.
Oh, you do.
I do. The speed and the certainty with which you said that was delightful for me.
Yes. Well, it's not that we have on camera personas, but we are extreme versions of ourselves on the podcast.
Yeah.
And your podcast persona is much more Slytherin.
I was just
going to
say, in real life, I'm not really even close at all. But yeah, the podcast version of me is.
And I'm just Hufflepuff through and through.
You are the most Hufflepuff.
I like hugs and I like bread. And that's a Hufflepuff.
Are those the two things that define Hufflepuffs?
I mean, pretty much, yeah.
Where is the bread thing?
Loyalty, and they're the house closest to the kitchen.
Sure.
Canonically, they have stories where the Hufflepuffs befriend the house elves, so the house elves will bring them food after hours.
That doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
Yeah.
All right. I think now.
Okay.
We've had a little chat.
We've caught up.
Lovely preamble. Yeah.
We needed this icebreaker between our Scooby-Doo fight and now.
People loved it.
I'm glad.
I even said on mic, I was like, I don't know if people are actually going to listen to this or not, but people really liked it. You know, they were like, oh, this is getting intense.
It did.
So, I did my dear friend Sav, who has not yet been on Timm Talk, but he's been on Gay It Forward, reached out. It's like, oh my God, how could you do a Scooby-Doo episode and not invite me? Because I honestly forgot that he's a huge Scooby-Doo fan.
Oh, man.
But then I asked, well, hang on, which one would you have picked? And based on his answer, I would never have let him on the show.
Look, every person I've talked to about the episode, they've been on my side. I always thought I was the lone island, but it's starting to sound like you're on your own.
You know what? I don't care. I will die on that hill. I will be alone while I do it, but I will do it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
you know what's new?
I shall. That's true. Again, the Slytherin's really coming out here.
Yeah.
I shall not waver in my convictions about Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed. All right. Well, but with all that out of the way, shall we dive into I Am Legion?
Yes.
Episode 1 of Season 3, the final season of Justice League Unlimited. So, in this one, Lex Luthor has escaped prison again, that wascally wabbit.
Surprise.
Yes, and he's essentially saved by a member of a new Legion of Doom that Gorilla Grodd has put together, essentially a co-op for supervillains to help each other out whenever the Justice League might show up. And Grodd sends Lex on a test mission to Black Hawk Island to steal some as of yet unknown item, which is eventually revealed to be, I wrote this down here.
The Spear of Longinus.
The Spear of Longinus, which I think is maybe also sometimes referred to as the Spear of Destiny. I did forget to look this up.
Yes, the Spear of Destiny and the Holy Spear.
Okay, yeah,
or the Holy Lance.
Because I know at least in and you know you can check off your Timm Talk bingo card, as I mentioned, DC New Frontier.
Oh, I was waiting for Empire Podcast.
No, the Empire Podcast has not done a deep dive yet on this very particular MacGuffin from the DC Comics universe. But in DC New Frontier, there is a panel that says that the superheroes were kept out of World War II by the Spear of Destiny. I forget what its powers are exactly, but it's basically Lex was sent to steal it just so that Grodd could put it on his wall, which is a great power move.
It's so funny.
Respect there.
It's so good. And even Lex respects it.
He does.
He's like, you son of a bitch.
You son of a bitch. I like your moxie, kid.
Would you like to know a little bit more about the Spear of Longinus? It's very quick.
You know what? While we're here, let's go ahead and do it.
What's funny is in this era, in this kind of 2-year span, it was the MacGuffin for 3 things, including this.
Okay.
There was a Spear of Longinus reference in Hellboy from 2004 and in Constantine in 2005.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think it kind of made its way. I mean, it's always been in American culture in a very specific way, which I'll get to in a second.
Mm-hmm.
But for pop culture, it was the kind of doomsday device from the show called Evangelion, which was kind of the first big sci-fi anime to
Okay,
pierce.
I've heard of Evangelion.
Yeah. A lot of things reference it nowadays.
Mm-hmm. Was that a pun?
What?
You said it pierced.
Oh, I did. I did. It was not intentional, but yes.
Rubbing off on you.
But the Holy Lance is what it's also usually referred to as. Is also the
Sorry, I immediately thought of Lance Bass.
That's fine. He is holy. It is religiously thought of as the spear that was used to pierce Jesus when he was crucified.
Oh,
When
okay.
they pierced his side and water came out instead of blood.
Mm-hmm.
And so people have been like hunting this item down for you because people think that it's a real thing.
Right.
And so in our world, in reality, people have been hunting this item down for centuries.
Yeah.
And so, of course, it's going to become a sci-fi trope.
Of course, yeah, it must.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, that does explain then why it would also pop up in... I mean, obviously, well, Hellboy's not DC at all.
Right.
But Constantine is mostly. I mean...
Yeah, well, I mean, it pops
depends
up in
on the
kind of
era.
every
Yeah.
pop culture thing.
But that makes sense why it would then pop up at other places.
Yeah.
So, what does it do?
I have no idea.
But you did the wrong kind of research then, Cameron.
Oh, that wasn't research. I just had that knowledge.
I should have known. Should have known. But yeah, so this basically kicks off the idea that, you know, a Legion of Doom has properly been formed. Now, we've seen hints of this prior in Justice League with Secret Society, with the Injustice Gang. And I guess this is worth kind of getting into right now, that this season was not anticipated.
Right.
Or at least the producers had a feeling like everything was going to end after season 2, so they really went out of their way to wrap everything up. I mean, we talked about this a little bit the last couple of weeks, but, you know, epilogue is literally an epilogue to the entire series. And then this happens. So I feel like, at least in these first couple episodes, they were trying to generate... It felt like they were trying to restart things that already felt kind of closed off and done. Like, here, they're kicking off the idea that, like, okay, Lex is, you know, a villain once again, you know, and literally ended with him, you know, being paired with Brainiac at the very end of the last episode. It's like, oh, he's off in a villain again, and all the villains are teaming up again. And, you know, I think I liked this when I was a kid because I didn't really think that much about it. But now I'm like, this just feels a little generic, especially in comparison to the sophistication of what we had before.
Yeah, I agree. I wonder, so with the Lex thing initially, just right off the top, we have it where the story opens with him taking over the police vehicle, kind of for no reason other than his own escape. Because they bring up, we're reintroduced to King, what's his
Faraday.
King Faraday, thank you.
Yeah.
Who's the new liaison.
Mm-hmm.
And he mentions that Lex has been completely docile for the past few months when he's been in prison. I think instead of opening up where he's like back in action, it should have been the docile version we see where the Legion of Doom breaks him out of prison and he doesn't kind of come back on. And we can see him like mumble to himself the whole time.
I see.
And he doesn't come back online until Grodd holds up a piece of Brainiac.
I see. Like, he's just kind of out of it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might have been a little more interesting. It would have deprived him like a really early action sequence, but I think it would have been it would have given him like a little more of an arc because this felt.
I mean, they can have the other villains, you know, bust through they can not do the typical trope of breaking through the back wall.
Yeah,
like bust through and beat up all the prison guards in the middle.
Yeah, or I mean, you know, they have the key, so like he literally can open any door. So just have him show up and open the door. Yeah, and I know we're going to be getting better episodes further into the season, but this for me I was just kind of like. Yeah, like, you know, the thing that Grodd, as you pointed out, holds over Lex is that he has a piece of Brainiac, and Lex is presumably hallucinating and seeing and talking to Brainiac, because as he puts it, like, he achieved a god-level status and then lost it all, and he's just so desperate to get back to
the comic relief.
Exactly, yeah, he's so desperate to get back to it that he'll do anything. So that's, you know, that's kind of like... in some ways, almost the A plot happening here is Lex's story trying to go in and do this mission for Grodd.
Yeah.
And then the B plot is basically that the Flash has a crush on Fire.
Yes.
Who, I guess, reciprocates it?
It's flirtatious banter in a very, like, innocent way. I don't want to say it's the Born Sexy Yesterday.
It's not, because
it's not. Yeah, it's not
quite.
Yeah.
But it ain't far.
It's like Born Sexy 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. She does come off like a little naive and kind of childish.
I don't like. Yeah, this portrayal of her is very. I don't think they know what to do with her.
I don't think they do either.
Yeah.
Like the thing so basically what happens is Flash is afraid to talk to Fire because he's like intimidated by how hot she is, essentially, and he
on both ends.
Yes, exactly. And he's, kind of sees himself such a goofball. And Shayera's like, you should just go talk to him, and then he won't do it. So when they need to go on a mission, it's the two of them, and it's like, what do we get as a third? And Shayera's like, Fire, you're with us. You're coming along. So it's Shayera kind of trying to, like, I don't know, I feel like sort of play matchmaker, but also just doing it for her own amusements.
Oh, she's fully doing it to watch Flash fall on his face.
Yeah, exactly. She literally does at one point when he jumps out of the javelin. So
I think we'll rephrase it. I don't think it's that that she's like flirting with Flash. I think it's more that she's just very open to talking with him.
Okay.
And he's we're so used to seeing him having that same energy, just like talk about anything with anyone.
Yeah.
And to see him playing this kind of coward dog while this other person's like, hey, like, let's just talk about something. What do you want to talk about? How's your day going?
Yeah, let's just talk about anything.
Yeah.
He won't say anything because he's, trying to be serious / intimidated. I mean, it's a different side of Flash than we've seen, which is kind of fun to see.
Yeah. It's like a schoolboy crush.
Yeah. It just feels very of its time.
I liked it. I thought that bit was fun.
But you're Mr. I'll forgive anything for of its time.
Yes, I am.
So, yeah, I was just like, I don't know. It just felt a little juvenile, that whole dynamic. That's not to say that it doesn't play out in some fun ways, like we alluded to. When the Javelin is heading towards Black Hawk Island, all of its defenses have been triggered, which includes basically just a fuckload of robots.
Yep. Very fun robots. Very 1960s.
Very, right? We get like robot vultures, robot sharks.
Robot piranhas.
Yes, robot piranhas, just general robots.
Yep.
Just big kind of almost Iron Giant style looking robots. So the Javelin is taken out by a robot vulture. So they're all having to like fly off, and Fire is holding on to Flash, and he's like, no, you need to go help Shayera. Let me go. I'll be fine. She's like, you sure? I was like, yeah, I'll be fine. She drops him, and he goes, oh, I hope I figure something out before I play. And honestly, like, I actually do genuinely love that little moment there, because the Flash, he would do that. Like, he would put on that sort of bravado and be like, yeah, I totally got this. I'm like, oh, fuck, I don't got this, but I'll think of something.
Yeah.
And then his solution, of course, is just like spin his arms like propellers and basically just create like some jet propulsion.
Yeah, and it's so fun.
It is fun, and it's very him. And of course, there's like no way for him to land gracefully. So, like I said, he literally falls on his face.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a charming moment.
It is.
It's endearing. So I mean, I like that little moment. I love they brought the Blackhawks back around. I don't even honestly. I know little to nothing about the Blackhawks. I just think they're cool.
I feel like you would be someone that would know about the Blackhawks, though.
I haven't really read I've never read any Blackhawk comics. Obviously,
I think we did research on it in Savage Time. I don't remember.
I don't remember. It's been a long time. Like, I mean, again, the only other thing that I can pull reference from is you can punch the stamp once again is DC New Frontier. Like, they appear very briefly in that. And they kind of make sense to appear in that story because I think even in that they were participatory World War II, and it's set obviously in like the early '60s, so it kind of makes sense. So it's it's fun to kind of bring the back around again here. We just have one last Blackhawk left still alive, and it's fun to go visit that island. It kind of has a like the Incredibles No Man is an Island,
mm-hmm.
Nomanisan Island,
yeah,
Nomanisan Island sort of vibe to it. It's like kind of retro futuristic, and I guess
my favorite art style.
Indeed, this would have been before that.
No, Incredibles was 2004.
Wasn't it? I thought it was 2005. Was it Cars?
Cars.
Oh, okay, it was 2004. Wait, they went to this episode.
Yeah, it was Monsters Inc.
Oh, okay,
Finding
yes,
Nemo.
you're right.
Mm-hmm.
This aired in 2005. You are correct, sir. So maybe they were kind of very possible they were kind of pulling some reference from that, or just from the old Blackhawk comics. But yeah, I've never.
Yeah, I mean, I thought this was I mean, I haven't seen James Bond, as you know,
right?
But I just assumed this was a James Bond reference.
It's sort of Bondian in some ways, but heavily filtered.
Okay,
that's why it reminds me more of The Incredibles, which is also again like a very filtered Bondian through a supervillain lens in particular. I remember at one point, who knows if it's still happening or not, but like Steven Spielberg was attached to at least produce, but I think also direct a Blackhawks movie for DC, which I was like, kind of that could be cool. I mean,
I'd be down.
He's got the pedigree for it, certainly. I don't know whether that's happening or not. I don't I don't know if fucking DC knows whether it's happening or not, to be perfectly honest. But they're an underexplored character that I would like to see kind of pop up more. And maybe I guess they're used the right amount here, but I also kind of wish we got a little bit more of them.
Yeah, I think you need to find that moment in the future of cinema where like we don't have any more World War II movies, and then I think that's when you can make a Black Hawk movie.
Yeah, I suppose we do have a lot of them.
We have a lot of them.
There's some good ones though.
Yeah.
Did you ever see Greyhound? It was the Tom Hanks submarine movie. Actually, it's not submarine. He's on a battleship escorting ships across the Atlantic during World War II, and they're fighting a German sub. Actually, pretty good.
Okay.
It's one of the. I feel like it really effectively captures what it must have been like to be on that kind of duty, just in terms of like the exhaustion and the terrible conditions.
Yeah.
But he's really good in it. Unsurprisingly, he's fucking.
I mean, yeah, it's Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks. He also wrote it. He co-wrote it.
Oh, nice.
I imagine on one of his many, many typewriters.
Yes.
So,
I have the last World War II movie I remember seeing is Red Tails, which was great.
Yeah, the Tuskegee Airmen movie, produced by George Lucas, if I recall. I don't think he directed it.
That sounds about right. Yeah, because it's Disney, so it would make sense that Lucas is attached in some way.
Yeah, but there's some good stuff in mind. Rocketeer, one of my all-time favorite movies, and it's like World War II adjacent.
Okay.
So, have you seen The Rocketeer?
I've not. I got it mixed up with Last Starfighter, and I saw that instead.
Very different movies.
Very different movie. Came out the same year though, I think. Or within like 2 years.
I guess it would have been around the same time. We'll have to do a movie night. You would love.
I know I would.
It's it's like 100% your style of movie.
Yeah, because it is that retro-futuristic look and
it's
feel.
retro-futuristic. It's Hollywood in the late 1930s, right before the war. It's, like kind of grounded, fun, sci-fi. It's Joe Johnston, who directed the first Captain America movie.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. He's got a very particular style that works really well. We should go watch that.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
Okay, yeah. But this thing we're talking about here, I Am Legion, right?
Right, the other thing.
This other thing. What else happens here? I mean, I don't know. I feel like we kind of hit most of the beats. Like, there's a fun little moment where the island's about to blow up, and the last remaining Black Hawk comes in and turns it off, and it stops at 007, which I'm pretty sure is
there you go.
Supposed to be a reference to 007. So much so that we mentioned it in the 007 references in the DCAU video that I did with the Watchtower Database.
Let's see. What else do I have? Grodd is taking 25% for the Legion of Doom.
Yeah.
What a scam artist.
I mean, that fortress, that cloaked fortress in a swamp could not have been cheap.
Yeah, but for every villain to be, because we see, they have the camera pan across all the villains, and we see everybody there. Yeah. So much so I didn't write down any of them.
I mean, I have the list here of uncredited appearances.
Okay.
Okay, so Atomic Skull, Bizarro, Black Mass, Blockbuster, Cheetah, Copperhead, Dr. Cyber, Dr. Destiny, Evil Star, Gentleman Ghost, Giganta, Heatwave. I'm not sure if that's a League member or a villain member, but KG Beast, Killer Frost, Major Disaster, Metallo, Parasite, Puzzler, Queen Bee, Rampage, Silver Banshee, Sinestro, Sonar, Star Sapphire, The Shark, The Thinker, Toyman, Volcana, and Weather Wizard.
Wow.
Plus, of course, the actual voiced members, which include Grodd, Lex, The Key, and Dr. Polaris.
Yes.
So, actually, along these lines, too, the one thing I do kind of love about this is it's the Michael Rosenbaum and Maria Canal's episode. Like, the voices of Flash and Hawkgirl voice almost everyone else in this episode.
Oh, that's hilarious.
As well, yeah, because Rosenbaum also voices Dr. Polaris and, like, the agent that lets Lex get away. And then Maria Canals also voices Fire, and then the Blackhawk computer.
Got it.
So, and also Corey Burton, because he does Brainiac, the Key, and Aztec. So it's like, again, the versatility of voice actors.
Yeah, Aztec is in here. Which, again, I think if we brought it up a few weeks ago, that there was kind of a dropped thread of Aztec being a Lex kind of drone. What's the word I always mispronounce? He's not many. I
was like, you got to narrow it down for me here.
Not a shell.
A shill?
A shill.
Yes, you're right. He's a shill in a shell of armor.
Yes, thank you. I can't be wrong.
Can't be wrong. But I mean, look, surely that shot of the Legion dome opening up and seeing like all the villains back there is pretty cool. I mean,
it's so fun.
I mean, it's basically the same shot we get of like the opening of the Justice League Unlimited credit sequence, like the opening title sequence of like all the heroes kind of lined up in a row. It's basically the same thing. So it's a cool reference point to that. It's cool they're establishing that this Legion is actually gonna, they're basically adopting the Justice League Unlimited model.
Yeah. Right.
It's like, they're all there to support each other. Like you can go do your own thing, but if you're in a pinch and Superman shows up, we'll send people to come in and help you. It's a clever idea. I think it's a clever way to justify all them getting together to go up against like this super expanded league. And I know that it'll pay off in the long run. I just felt a little bleh.
Yeah. So I'm still stuck on this 25% thing. I don't know how much mafia extortion is. As someone who's never been in that situation.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know either.
But
there's
do
no
know
WASP mafia. That's just CEOs.
Right.
So
we do know like manager and agent prices.
10%.
Usually, 10%.
Yeah.
I feel like 10% would be an understandable, and he's a villain. He can maybe go up to like 12%.
Yeah.
But 25%, it's just highway robbery, Grodd.
I mean, he's a villain.
Yeah.
That's the point.
I know. I don't know why that irked me so much.
I think it's so much. Like, if anything, it's so much that he has to actually like deliver.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. Like,
and we do see them get away at the end of this episode. All three of them get away.
They all get away. And like, if anything, he makes a lot of money off of it, obviously, but it puts a burden on him. Like, people could easily go like, nah, I'm gonna pass. Now, even as he says to Lex, like Lex is too big of a hitter to be going freelance. So that's why he wants him on board.
Right.
So, I mean, Grodd is obviously compelled to try and get as many people as possible because I think he, wants to utilize their capabilities, but also doesn't want competition.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, he's priced his, like, services high enough that it puts him in a tough spot.
Yeah. I mean, because they make a point that after Manhunter, it's been very hard for the villains. And so Grodd is basically acting as the evil Manhunter now.
Exactly. Yeah. Which, I mean, kind of makes sense. They're both really smart people.
They got big brains.
Telepaths.
Yeah.
To some degree. So,
Manhunter can turn into an ape if he wants. A gorilla.
That's true. That's true. He very much could. So, yeah, there's some fun stuff in here, but I felt the whole thing just a little underwhelming, potentially. So,
For now,
at least. I'm trying to think any other major things to cover. I feel like that kind of does it. Again, we forgot to look up trivia because senioritis. Yeah, anything else to cover on this?
Sorry, I just took a big drink of water.
Please, by all means, chug. Chug away.
Yes, we haven't done it in a few weeks because we haven't had too many new characters.
Oh, that's right.
I did do a very brief inside look into Fire.
Please give us the full tea.
So she is an interesting character reading in DC Comics because she bounces around a lot and also changes her name a good amount.
Okay.
So her real name is Beatrice Bonilla de Costa. I'm sure I mispronounced that. Mm-hmm. She started off as a model in Rio, turned secret undercover agent for the Brazilian government. Yep.
Love it.
Yep. Great start.
Yep. That is very Bondian.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's very Bond. And then it goes very typical 60s.
Okay.
While on one of her undercover missions, she was exposed to a pyroplasmic explosion, an accident that granted her the powers of pyrokinesis.
My God.
And from there, she kind of felt the, with great power comes great responsibility moment, where she took on the identity of Green Fury.
It's a terrible name.
Yep. Well, don't worry, because it changed very fast to the Green Flame.
Better?
Slightly.
But not great still.
Yeah. So when she was the Green Flame, she joined a team called the Global Guardians, who, similar to her first name, were almost immediately dispersed because they lost their funding for the more important Justice League International that formed very shortly after that.
Oh, okay.
And so she's kind of like, she doesn't really have anywhere to go after the Guardians dispersed. And so she joined the JLI, where she changed her name, where she meets up with her very close friend at the time named Ice Maiden. Mm-hmm. And then when they joined the JLI, they both realized, like, that's too complicated. We're just going to go by Fire and Ice now. during one of their fights with Doomsday, Ice was killed by another villain named Overmaster, who I don't know much about. He looks like he's from Apocalypse, but looking a brief kind of scroll through his Wikipedia, it doesn't sound like he's part of not Doomsday, Darkseid's team. I said Doomsday. I meant Darkseid at the beginning. And so after Ice passed away, Fire left the JLI. She was the longest serving member for it, which is interesting.
I always associate her with the Justice League International.
Yeah. So then she worked back to Brazil for a little bit, and then the JLI kind of dissolved a little bit because of Maxwell Good. Maxwell Lord, Uncle Max.
Yep. My dear sweet Uncle Max.
Yep. And she joined another team, which was kind of the dissolved version of the JLI, called the Super Buddies, which is such a cute name, which does not match the energy of the people in the group. Do you know anything about the Super Buddies?
I have never heard of this.
It sounds like
an AirBud.
It sounds like an AirBud sequel.
Yeah. Honestly, I think it is an AirBud.
I think it is. I think it is an AirBud.
You
sequel.
keep going. I'm going to double check this, but I'm pretty sure Super Buddies was in fact an AirBud sequel.
I think it was the last one. Yeah, where the puppies get superpowers.
God, I mean, if that series hadn't already jumped the shark numerous times beforehand, they'd found a way.
No, it's a great cast. Like the cast wants. Like I want to read it after hearing this. It's Ted Gord, Booster Gold. Ted Gord, Blue Beetle, Booster Gold.
Ted Cord.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, wouldn't it be a roster, not a cast?
Nope.
Okay. Okay.
Blue Beetle, Booster Gold, Fire, Elongated Man, his wife Sue, Captain Atom, and Miss Marvel.
Okay, that's
a fun group.
That is a good group. Does Sue do something?
I think she is probably in like a what's her face? She is Batgirl, and then she shot Oracle role.
Oh, okay.
Would be my guess. I think she's also a scientist.
Okay, I kind of want her to be a lawyer.
Yeah, they need it. Is there a reference I'm missing?
Her name is Sue.
Oh, okay. That's fine. You're a little off your game, but I'll let that one go.
I mean, it was deliberately bad.
And so while while reading that, I think it's funny that they describe the Super Buddies as like the down to earth, like helping the person on the street group. Because the next paragraph I read about this was their adventure into hell to rescue Ice's soul, which they end up failing. Yes. So they team up with Etrigan to enter hell. They find the soul, but something happens and Fire kind of loses it and they can't get back into hell.
Quite a lot.
Yeah. Just those down to earth neighborly missions.
Right. I looked it up. Super Buddies is in fact a 2013 direct-to-video movie.
Okay, can I guess which sequel number it is?
You can. I'd have to double check and see which one it is.
I think it's number 7. Because I know they go to space in one. There's a Christmas one.
Right. We're looking at the AirBud series. Okay. You thought it was the 7th?
Oh my! Okay, I'm gonna say 12th now.
It is the 14th.
Oh wow!
So I think we've done this before, but I'm gonna do it again right now. So if any of you who cared, which
it's
again
just me.
it's just again I would say the two of us in the room, but really it's the one.
Yeah, it's me.
The order goes: AirBud,
yep.
AirBud Golden Receiver,
yep.
AirBud World Pup. AirBud
yep. Soccer.
7th inning fetch.
Baseball.
AirBud Spikes Back.
Volleyball.
And then that spun off into the Air Buddies.
Yep, where he has puppies.
Yes, and that's number 6. Then Snow Buddies.
Yep.
Space Buddies.
Yep.
Santa Buddies, which then spun off into the Search for Santa Paws.
Yep.
Spooky Buddies.
Yep.
Treasure Buddies.
Yep.
Santa Paws 2, the Santa Pups, and finally Super Buddies. So I'm looking at the IMDb on Super Buddies. There's only 2 real recognizable names in this.
Surprises me
there's a few. Sorry, there's a few recognizable names in here. So John Ratzenberger as Marvin Gramps Livingstone, who, looking through some photos, appears to actually be himself, not just a voice. We have him. We have Amy Sedaris as Betty, the voice. Deborah Jo Rupp, who was the mom in That 70s Show and then also appeared in WandaVision.
Yep.
Delightful Deborah Jo Rupp. She's the voice of Cow. And this is the one that totally blows my fucking mind, but I guess it makes sense given that it was Disney in 2013. Zendaya as the voice of Lollipop.
Amazing.
Lollipop. This is incredible that they went to space before they had superpowers. Wow.
Were there any more? How many more?
That's
are after?
apparently the last one.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Up to this point has been Space Buddies.
I mean,
no, sorry, Super Buddies.
Yeah, let's see what's left. They can go back to World War II.
Oh my god. No. Paratrooper pups.
There you go. Don't say that too loud. We're gonna see it in a year.
You know what? Someone has made a fuckload of money off this series, and power to them.
Okay, well, so there's one that I would expect them to do, but I think they've gone too big now, and I think it'd be too much of a regression. But if it's the dogs go like ice racing, and they joined a sled dog team. I know it's the wrong type of dog.
Could that have been any one of the ones that I previously mentioned? Wait, they're snow buddies.
Yeah, they're still puppies,
They go on an Alaskan adventure, but I would not be surprised if at some point in Snow Buddies they end up as part of a sled dog team.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's one.
There's a husky in here, at least. So.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's one of the puppies is having the Rudolph moment where he gets to lead the sled dog team.
I am sure because like the sun shines off his golden fur.
Yep.
Let me look up real fast on Wikipedia here. Let's see if I see. The word sled appears for. Okay, here we go. Upon arrival, the buddies meet Shasta. Can't believe we're doing this. A Siberian Husky puppy whose 11-year-old owner, Adam Bilson, is determined to win the Alaskan sled dog race because of what happened to his father. I'm not going to bother looking up to see what happened to his father. Okay, the next appears the word sled. All right, they revealed to the buddies that Shasta's parents were killed in a dog sled race last year when the ice beneath them shattered to dishearten them. Okay, I guess that's okay. After being reminded how treacherous the race is by the sheriff, the puppies begin their trek while Jean George III, unscrupulous French musher and last year's champion, cheats his way through every race by sabotaging the other musher sleds and pushing them off their sleds. I'm pretty sure we can assume at this point from what I'm reading that the whole plot revolves around a sled dog.
Okay, yeah. So the plot I wanted does exist.
It absolutely does exist. Yeah.
Incredible. Incredible. All right, I'm satisfied. I'm fully satisfied with the series.
Oh my god. Yep. It's Adam is victorious and the buddies reunite with Buddy and Molly. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that this involves a
puppy sled race.
Wow.
Incredible.
Wow, that is I think maybe this speaks to the quality of the episode we have before us. We have spent 10 minutes talking about AirBud.
No, what I think is more important is that you spend 10 minutes talking about it. Because like it's no different if I talk about it. It's the fact that you are letting it continue.
Well,
that shows the quality of these episodes.
Cameron, you either, die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. I've become the very thing I hate the most.
Yeah.
Your fucking tangents.
You live long enough for 14 sequels of AirBud.
Oh, God. All right. Well, before we fall down another even worse tangent than this, any other things to cover on this episode?
I think that's it. I wish I knew more about the Blackhawks so I could enjoy it more, but I don't.
If only we had spent 10 minutes talking about Blackhawk history instead of the Air Buddies franchise.
No. It'll come into play later in the season.
But I think this is the sort of slapdash podcasting journalism our listeners have come to expect from us.
Yes.
I think it's fine. We're still on brand. All right, so jumping in then to episode 2, Shadow of the Hawk. And in this one, we meet Carter Hall, an archaeologist who's uncovered an ancient nth metal sword in Egypt, and basically asks Shayera to come with him to investigate. And Carter eventually reveals that he is some other dude whose name I do not remember, but that he touched a device called the Absorbicron.
Thank you. I said Omicron, and then that was not right.
Which then gave him seemingly the memories of 2 ancient Thanagarian lovers who crashed onto Earth during the time of the Egyptian, I guess, empire, whatever you want to call it, and basically brought their technology, built a paradise, and they have been reincarnated now as Carter Hall and Shayera, and he basically wants Shayera to also touch the little thingy and to regain her ancient memories as well. And she just tells him, no, you're an idiot. Your feeble human brain was just overpowered by a device that's meant to telepathically link with Thanagarians, and it fried your shit, and now you think you're Qatar Hall.
Yes.
My former fiance who's now dead.
Yes.
Yes. So...
it's a lot, but also nothing.
It's a it's a lot's going on here, but all for nothing. And when I was talking about, it felt like the producers, the writers, were trying to like kickstart new plot threads. Like, you know, the John Shayera stuff. Their relationship had a nice little butt in the end of that last season when like they're fighting their doppelgangers, and it's a small moment, but there's enough there to kind of be like, okay, there's some closure here. / it's open enough. So it feels like they're trying to like restart that drama, especially because John finally acknowledges the future where he has a fucking child with her.
Right, which is the whole thing that we talked about in the one episode we didn't like.
Oh yeah, Hunter's Moon.
Yes.
Yes, so that should have been brought up then.
Yeah, the burden of destiny.
Yeah, because he even says, like, aren't she and her destined to be together? And Batman's just like, well, then why are you still with Vixen?
Right.
Just Batman throwing out some truth bombs here.
Yeah, well, I think it's interesting because I didn't think about it at the time, but now that we're talking about it, it's two theorized destinies kind of coming together.
Oh, that's a good point, actually. Yeah.
John thinks they're destined because he's seen the future. Carter thinks they're destined because he's seen the past.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. That's a really good point, actually. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, well done.
That's a good college essay right there.
Good on you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that is an interesting idea. And so that the dynamic of the opening sequence when Shayera, John, Vixen, and Batman are fighting just a bunch of random, presumably Legion of Doomers.
Yeah, they looked cool. They were cool models.
They did look cool. Yeah, I'm not even sure.
I didn't know who a single one was.
Who they are. Well, I bet I can tell you here. All right. So, looks like Dream Slayer and Lord Havoc.
Yeah, Dream Slayer was the Firehead boy.
Yeah. Lord Havoc.
I'm gonna guess
Gorgon.
Okay, yeah, Gorgon is the Medusa guy, because that's what Medusa is.
Okay, Lord Havoc's the guy who kind of looks like he's got like the purple cape and the metal head. He kind and like the kind of cape clasps.
Is he the one that punched Batman in the first shot?
Yes, he's inspired by Doctor Doom. He clearly has a Doctor Doom look to him. Yeah, and then Gorgon's the guy with the weird hair.
Yep, because Medusa is a Gorgonite.
Right, who's then clearly inspired by Doctor Octopus. And then I don't know, maybe clearly they're going for one of the many Marvel references they have here. So it's
they're all
he's based on, or she interesting, is based on Dormammu.
Oh, we know that name.
We do know the name from Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they're clearly going. It's one of their many references, but we also get other. We get the Adversary, Giganta, Coons. Who is this person? Again, that's what happens when we do these things. Oh, okay. I think these are in some of the when we're seeing that Carter has been following Shayera around. We see some other fights.
Yeah, I think that's where we see Giganta.
Yeah, the Adversary is someone that they're fighting on the beach. And
someone they fight.
Yeah,
snow.
also, and the Coons are.
That's probably the snow people.
Yes, exactly. The Kuns. I don't know how this is pronounced, but I'm sure I'm pronouncing.
I guess Kuns.
Pronouncing it wrong. Either way, it sounds like a word I shouldn't be saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Tracer was another villain that they think they're fighting at the beginning, and inspired by Sabretooth. So yeah, they were doing the whole Marvel thing there. But I do like the dynamic of Carter, Shayera, John, and Vixen all together, and just like the awkwardness of all of it, of like John being overly defensive of Shayera and Vixen being like, what the fuck are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
And Batman just kind of sitting there just watching this all unfold. I bet he's just happy that it's someone else's love life is causing drama.
Oh, he's so excited.
Yeah.
Because it's everything they've said to him, he gets to turn on them.
Because
it's like, what are you guys thinking with your libido so much?
The man, at least in this universe, has like never had a healthy relationship that did not involve some kind of drama, right? Obviously, you got Andrea Beaumont, Phantasm, Catwoman, Talia.
Kind of Batgirl.
I think we can go ahead and throw in like the Poison Ivy plant thing that he married.
Yep.
In the new Batman Adventures, and their Wonder Woman. Obviously, there's some drama there as well.
I don't think so. I think the reason that it's not working for him is because there isn't drama. Because Wonder Woman's just very much go with the flow. He's like, you want to go brood? Go fucking brood. I'll be here.
I suppose that's true.
Like, you're not gonna fight with me.
She's not gonna chase him. I suppose. I think is what ultimately it comes down to.
Yeah,
and he's not gonna chase her.
Yeah, and so they just stand there.
Certainly. So it's they're a romantic stalemate. So, but I mean, I guess she's on the same team as him, so I suppose there's a little bit of drama there. But yeah, this is a whole other level. This whole love square happening in front of him. So like that part of it is kind of fun to see all of that play out together. But Batman basically stops Shayera before she goes on a date with him, and it's like, this dude's a stalker. Like, he showed up here. He's been showing up at a bunch of our different fights in the last 3 months. Shows her video of him in the background, all this sort of stuff. Like, he's not to be trusted. But she still goes on a date with him, looking great in a dress. John is shocked to see her in a dress.
Yeah, literally jaw dropped.
Literally to the point of he yells like Judas Priest as she walks into the turbo lift.
Yes.
So, to be fair, we've never seen her in a dress either, and she does look great. But yeah, so she still goes on a date with him. She still sleeps with him.
Oh, they fuck.
Yeah, like that's. I mean, she's a naturally flirtatious person, but yeah, that's very heavily implied that they totally fuck.
Yeah.
And then she just decides to go and explore an ancient Egyptian tomb with him, despite him being a stalker. And then Batman, being a Batman, of course, has put like a bug on Shayera's mace and is following them through the tomb. And they're also being followed by the Shadow Thief.
Yes.
Who, if I recall, gets more background reveal later on.
Okay, yeah. So when I finished this episode, I wrote what I wanted him to be, and I think that's what happens in the next episode, if I remember. Is he the reincarnation of the priest that poisoned them?
I think so.
Okay.
I vaguely remember him having some sort of origin. It's also worth noting, whether it was intentional or just a fun little thing, is that both Carter Hall and the Shadow Thief are voiced by the same voice actor, James Remar.
Yes.
So I do not remember, and I'm not going to look it up because we'll get to it when we get to it, if there is some sort of deeper connection there between the two of them. It's to explain why it's the same voice. I don't remember.
Yeah, I would have liked it to be the priest.
Yeah.
If they're going to go in this whole reincarnation thing.
I think he might be.
Or at least have it in this episode where Carter thinks it's the priest, because that would make sense for his story. But in reality, it's just a guy trying to grave rob.
Yeah, trying to grave rob him. So, yeah, because his whole thing is he's following them because he wants to get access to all the treasures buried within the tomb. It's, and like, they fight robot zombies.
Yeah,
at one point, I was like, it's so weird that they end up making them robots, because they looked like they would have been like just entombed, mummified, like palace guards or whatever.
Yeah, because it's 3 layers, and it's 1 layer too many, because it's a robot zombie mummy.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, what is this?
Yeah, it's 1 too many layers.
It's too many hats.
There's one thing I think could have saved this episode if they would have followed through with this idea. It is, they know the pyramid is booby trapped, or the tomb is booby trapped. Who do we know that's great at getting out of booby traps?
Mr. Miracle.
I think Batman should have recruited Mr. Miracle for this mission.
I agree with you.
I think that would have been so fun.
But very on brand for Batman to not do that.
Right.
He's just got to do it himself, of course. Which, okay, on a cynical side, I'm like, that's just Batman being dickish Batman. But from another angle, one could read that as it's him trying to look out for his friend, a fellow, founder of Justice League, who he respects, and he doesn't want to widen that circle any more than it needs to be widened out. So he just does it himself.
Yeah.
Rather than like compromising her further. Because he never admits to being just typical dick Batman by following her. Like, even when she says, "How crazy do you think I am?" his just joking response is like on a scale of 1 to 10. Like, he doesn't make apologies for how he is, but what he's doing could still be read as, I suppose, looking out for her, but it's also just typical Batman and pretty chauvinistic behavior too.
I think the reason we get this Batman again is the question is gone, and so now Batman can take that role again.
Yeah,
because we saw him be very logical in the last season, because the question could balance out that kind of conspiracy side.
Yeah.
But also to counter that point of wanting to keep the circle small, if Mr. Miracle comes, Barda's also coming with him. And I think that would have been very cute because that is the idyllic couple outside of Green Arrow and Black Canary. They're the couple that has it all figured out. And so if they see if it's Mr. Miracle and Barda and Hawkgirl sees them, and Barda just gives one line of like, it's not that hard. Like relationships aren't supposed to be that hard.
Yeah. I do love Barda and Mr.
Yeah,
Miracle.
I think that would have been such a cute like.
They're so great together.
Have the therapy couple come in.
Yeah, the one couple that actually. Well, actually, no, the two couples that actually work. Well, no, three.
Who's the third one?
I would say Question and Huntress works.
I do. Yeah.
And then Arrow and Canary.
Arrow and Canary. Yeah.
Yeah, those are all actually pretty healthy relationships.
Yeah.
Functioning relationships, certainly.
Yes, functioning over healthy.
Yeah, I don't know if I would go so far as say healthy with Huntress and.
Yeah, I mean, but Barda and Miracle are pretty healthy. They were friends turned relation. Like they did the steps.
Yeah, they're so cute.
Yeah,
I love them together. I want more stuff with them.
And I think like Hawkgirl and GL as well really needed talking to from someone that understands healthy relationships.
Oh my God. Well, don't talk to Bruce.
That's the problem. They only talk to Bruce.
For fuck's sake. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, John, like, I mean, okay.
Solely gets his advice from Bruce.
Who else is John going to talk to? Wally? No, he's not going to give good advice. Like, I think he's probably not going to talk to Superman because Superman just is a little bit too goody two-shoes. Even though he's in his own pretty fucked up relationship because he's actively dating Lois Lane, who I think we can assume still does not know he's Clark Kent.
Yes.
Based on like the one scene we have them together having a picnic towards the end of the last season, at no point she never calls him Clark,
right?
Which I feel like she would do if she knew his secret at that point.
Yeah, because that's how they all interact.
Yeah, so he's not the best person to talk to. So I guess Bruce might be kind of the best person to talk to because he has at least survived a lot of these fucked up relationships, but none of them have ended well.
Yeah, I mean, in the comics, there's always a friendship between at least Hal and Ollie.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why they couldn't like grow that out with John and Ollie, because like there's always that Green Arrow, Green Lantern combo.
Yeah,
because it's the same idea. It's Ollie's always very left.
Yeah,
and then the Green Lanterns are almost always military first.
Yeah, but I feel like I guess Hal Jordan's an Air Force pilot. John was a Marine. Maybe John's just too serious for Ollie.
I think he is. Yeah, because Hal doesn't take anything seriously, and that's why they work together.
Yeah, exactly. I think I could see John not having a lot of patience for Ollie, and Ollie not really wanting to try to make friends with someone who is just so serious all the goddamn time. So you can understand why, like, weirdly enough, Bruce and John would have kind of a friendship, especially because they did both make it all the way through the Once and Future Thing story together.
Yeah.
So Bruce is also the only person that knows that future.
Right.
So, which is, it's weird. It's good drama.
It is.
It's good drama that I'm glad they're trying to exploit. I just don't know if they've really found it yet.
Yeah. And yes, I don't, against my best wishes, I don't want to pitch this as a two-parter.
Oh my good God.
It's already kind of thin. I don't know how much how much else they could put into it unless you did more upfront stuff.
And we're going to get follow-ups on this. It's just not immediate. So it's not the end of this story.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say that they definitely still play Vixen as the jealous girlfriend at times. I feel like that is balanced out to some degree by her just continuing to be a fucking badass every time she's on screen. Like, she takes like a big hit and then she like takes on the powers of a snake to choke someone out. And then I think someone asked her, like, "Are you good?" It's like, "Oh, I just need to catch my breath." But like, she's
she takes a full fire blast to the face.
That's right. Yeah. She's just so cool.
Yeah.
And it definitely helps that she's voiced by Gina Torres, who is just like exudes cool and charm all the time. For those of you who are not familiar with who that is, she was Zoe in Firefly / Serenity, so married to Wash, and a total badass in that. She has like recurring roles in Suits. She has voiced Superwoman in Justice League Crisis on Two Earths. She's just like one of those people that just pops up in everything. Oh, she was in the Matrix sequels. Like, she just pops up and stuff and is always good whenever she's there. And I adore her and think she's a total badass. And she continues to be a total badass whenever she voices Vixen here.
Yeah.
So, she's so cool. She's so freaking cool. But yeah, I love Vixen. And like, I feel bad that, well, we get the actual, and I've said this before, we get the actual origin of Warhawk in a Batman Beyond / like Justice League Beyond comic that it's I think technically not the same universe as the DCAU, but like mostly the same. But if you treat that as canon, she kind of gets done dirty, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So I don't love, not necessarily love.
Okay, so I don't want to add more complications to this love square that already exists.
You can try and make it into a love pentagon?
No, I'm not adding another person.
Okay.
What if I was there? No, but I wonder if there was like a line that could have been said, because like they go out of their way to make Carter Hall like the most handsome man that has popped up in the DCAU, and that's hard to do because there's a lot of handsome men in this universe,
aren't there?
But if there's a point where like, you know, Shayera is against going on this date, and Vixen is like how can you turn a guy like that down? Like, you know, like not that she's wants a relationship with him, but like acknowledges that he's attractive, which makes John more uncomfortable just being in the middle of it all.
That would
make it a true square.
Yeah, that would have fun. Like, I wouldn't turn down a dinner with him.
Yeah, it's like I'll go. Where are you going?
Yeah, he's like, I get it. He's pretty handsome.
Yeah, I think that could have been a fun one line.
Yeah, I mean he's a psycho stalker, but
but they don't know that yet.
Worth it? Still maybe.
She's not. I mean, he's not stalking her, so it's
that's true.
If we learned anything from 3 seasons of You, as long as you're not the one being stalked, it's fine.
It's fine. He seems like he would put in the effort too, in a way that say like Bruce, for example, probably wouldn't.
Oh no.
Yeah, we've had this conversation. We've definitely had a conversation about which of the Justice League members actually offer foreplay and which ones don't.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The whole world had this conversation.
Yeah, that's true. We weren't alone in that. Yeah, I mean, the rest of it kind of plays out pretty generically. Like, you know, eventually Carter reveals himself in like the full Hawkman look, which is like it's classic Hawkman look, which is pretty cool. And I guess this origin is like a kind of a semi-combination of the Golden Age and Silver Age origins of Hawkman. Yeah, a big like fight ensues, and they like defeat the Shadow Thief temporarily, and they get out of there before it all collapses. And Carter's just like, you know, I know who I am, and you'll figure it out eventually too, even if you can't touch the
Omicron.
The Absorbicron thing. Yeah, it's just there's some fun stuff in here, but again, it just feels a little underbaked.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Anything else to cover on this?
The wings are detachable.
Yeah, it's like he like puts it on as like a harness, but then
we see it in silhouette.
Yeah, but then what are they, like? Mechanical?
I guess.
Are they robots?
Robots?
Are they organic?
I mean,
it's weird.
I don't want to think that the Egyptians had wings.
Yeah,
but I think that's kind of what they're referencing here.
I don't know. I'm sure in the comic somewhere it's explained how like he has wings that aren't actually attached to him, because I think there's some versions where he's not born with them. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how that works. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
I don't need an answer. It just kind of was like interesting.
Okay, yeah,
yeah,
all right, yeah.
I don't know why he had to do that in silhouette, but sure.
Yeah, I guess because they didn't want to like show how it works.
It's no, like you see, it's a backpack.
Yeah,
that's
right. It's just JanSport.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Hey, whatever. I don't want to ask you more questions about this episode.
Yeah. He just drank a lot of Red Bull.
There you go.
All right. Well, shall we move on here?
Yeah.
All right. Let's do some bat plugs and then land this bird.
All right.
What do you got?
Hawk?
This hawk, exactly. We'll go and take off our wings. Cameron, what do you have to plug this week?
I haven't watched a ton of new stuff.
Okay.
But last weekend, I forgot it finally was coming out. But there was a game that took over my life for 9 years called League of Legends. And there was a lot of great characters in that game.
Okay.
And they made a great backstories for a lot of these characters. Some of them not as good as the others.
Okay.
But Netflix finally made a series based on a handful of the League of Legends characters called Arcane.
Oh, okay.
And it's a beautifully animated series. I think the story is good so far, but I also know these characters. So it's like I'm just excited to see them in animation form. But yeah, it's a really cool story. The first 3 episodes came out last week. The next 3 came out this weekend, which I have not watched yet, and I think it's going to last the rest of the month.
Okay.
Yeah, it follows a sister pair that are born in kind of a very rough, I guess like a rough neighborhood, and it's the two of them just basically trying to survive with each other. And it's great. It's if you know the story of League, you know kind of one of them turns into a cop and the other one turns into this basically psycho serial killer.
Killer.
Yeah. It's kind of the like, how did they get to that point in their life?
Okay. Oh, okay. I mean, Haley Steinfeld is one of the leads.
Yep, she plays Vi, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. As an aside, Hawkeye looks great.
What?
Like Hawkeye, the show.
It does.
Like the stuff they put out this last weekend over on Disney Plus Day.
Mm-hmm.
It looks so fun.
Yeah, that looks great.
I'm so excited for that show.
Me too. It's only a couple weeks, right? Like 2 weeks?
Yeah, it comes out on the 24th.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of been my big plug. I'm excited to watch the rest of these episodes.
Oh, cool. I honestly did not know that they had even.
Yeah, are you seeing like photos of the art style?
Yeah, I was looking at some photos. It looks cool.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's very like painterly.
Yeah. Well, this is interesting. Yeah, I have no connection or understanding of League of Legends whatsoever.
No, that's totally fine. I don't think you have to get into the show.
But it's interesting. Someone finally like adapted it somewhere.
Yeah, 12 years later.
Yeah, interesting. That's cool.
Yeah. What about you? What do you got to plug?
I watched Jungle Cruise.
You finally watched Jungle Cruise.
Well, it finally hit Disney Plus for free.
That's true. Happy Disney Plus Day.
Yeah. Look, I thought it was really fun and charming.
It's really fun, right?
It's cute. You know,
it's better than we expected.
It is better than I expected. You know, I'd heard a lot of people be like, "Oh, it's just like, you know, they rip off a bunch of stuff from Pirates of the Caribbean." Not wrong.
Yeah. And also, that's fine. Pirates is also good.
Yeah. I quite enjoyed it. I thought that, you know, Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt had like really good chemistry. I've heard a lot of people complain about Jack Whitehall's character. I liked him. I thought he was fun.
Yeah, same.
I basically just kind of
again Disney's first gay character.
Oh my god, yeah. First with an asterisk. It's our next first gay character.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah, like Jesse Plemons is like this weird like German prince is also fantastic. Like I just had fun with it. It's dumb, but it knows that it's dumb.
Exactly.
It's charming. Like The Rock is able to deliver like the real bad dad joke lines in a way that works, and like the movie itself points out how bad the jokes are, which I really appreciated. You know, like some of the action set pieces are pretty fun. You know, I had a good amount of fun with it.
Yeah, same.
Actually. So I'm like, it was pretty good.
Yeah, well, get ready because we're probably going to get 5 more of these.
We probably will. Yeah, but I was like,
and if it follows Pirates, you know, 2 are going to be good.
Yeah, exactly.
And if we're 3 of 5, I'll take it.
Yeah. But no, honestly, especially because if you have a Disney Plus account, it's quote unquote free. I think it's worth a watch.
Yeah, Disney Plus just added a bunch of content for Disney Plus Day.
They did.
It's 2-year anniversary, so we got that. Shang-Chi is now available on Disney Plus.
Yes, go watch that. That's
yes,
great.
I already rewatched it. It's so good.
It's so good. I love that movie so much.
The new Home Alone is out, which I'm excited to see. I've heard pretty good things about it so far.
It looks fun. It's got a good cast. It's got a really good cast.
And then a handful of other things I don't remember.
Yeah, lots of like little mini docs and stuff like that. But yeah, there's some good stuff up there. But yeah, Jungle Cruise, worth a watch.
Good.
So I watched that, and then inspired by our episode last week, I've been watching Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? The original Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? It's fun.
It's so fun.
Like, what's interesting is we talked a little bit about this last week of how I always remember watching that a lot as a kid. It turns out what I was mostly watching as a kid was season 2, which is half as many episodes, but I remember being broadcast a lot more. And I feel like maybe the reason is by the time I got to season 2, they had kind of settled more into the flow and like the things you expect. So like they're goofier. There's more moments of them like, you know, giving like the werewolf a haircut and pretending to be barbers and like
going like full Tex Avery.
Yeah, like they lean much more into like the cartoony goofiness of it, because otherwise the first season they don't really do that at all. The first season actually played a lot more straight. Second season a lot goofier. And then you had mentioned about how you think you vaguely recollected that the show was kind of like Looney Tunes, that it was built around trying to showcase bands.
It wasn't built around the bands, but it was a way to cut costs.
So at least having rewatched all of season 1 has like no original music in it. It's just score.
Oh, interesting.
Season 2, I think it's just the same band playing a new song every episode, because the theme song is recorded by a different artist when they got to season 2, and just based on the sound, I think it's that same group is playing a new original song, like a new original pop song in every episode, and there's like an extended montage chase sequence where they're playing over it.
Okay, that's still cool.
It is cool.
Yeah.
It is fun, and you know, I think a lot of the monsters that are really famous came from that first season, but I think a lot of things we remember about Scooby-Doo came from the second season. It's been fun.
Good. I'll have to go back and rewatch it.
Yeah, let's go back, and I burned through it pretty quick. And
yeah, I mean, it's only 24 episodes.
Yeah, something like 25, I think. 20, yeah. But there's also a third season that was in the 80s that's under the same name, which is interesting. They brought back Scooby-Doo Where Are You in like 78 for another, I don't know, 10 episodes or something like that. But it's on there as a third season on HBO Max.
Yeah, because that would have been the same time as the new Scooby-Doo show was running.
Okay. I don't know. All I know is it's been kind of fun to go back and revisit it, and there have only been a handful of times when it's been really, really problematically racist. So
1966.
69.
Sorry, yeah, 69.
And 70.
Nice.
Just saying, Cameron. Gotta step up your Scooby-Doo game here.
66 was Flintstones then?
Well, we weren't talking about the Flintstones.
I know, but I have to correct myself of why I thought 66.
I know, you're
for
trying to
Hanna-Barbera.
dig yourself out of this.
And then 67 was Jetsons.
Scooby-Doo hole. But,
and then...
just saying. Getting out dude here.
I'm not getting out dude. I made a 3-year off mistake, and I'm explaining why I made that mistake.
You know, you had some missed recollections about the use of original artists in those movies.
I was not misremembering. That was me watching video essays about Scooby-Doo and then bringing it up, and then me recounting those video essays.
Right, so maybe not actually going straight to the source.
Yeah.
Like a good researcher would.
Like a good researcher would, yeah.
Just saying.
Does having your own personal research now, has that gone to your head, Chris?
It does, yes. I've done my own research.
Yep, yeah. When was the last time you read a Shang-Chi comic?
September.
Yeah.
I read them for work. So, not sure why you went there, because that is actually something I did have to do.
I was trying to think what you would have hired a researcher to do instead.
Yeah, I put in the work too, all right? I'm still reading Dune.
Yeah. When's the last time you watched a James Bond movie, Chris?
I need to go see No Time to Die for a third time.
Sure.
I really need to. I definitely want to go watch it again.
Well, did you see the AMC Disney Plus thing that was happening this weekend?
No? What?
It was a cool thing. I wish I had time to do it this weekend. They were doing mystery screenings all weekend at AMC's, and you could pick either they had 3 screens set up at every AMC, except the Sunset 5, because that only has 5 screens.
5.
But there was a Disney animated screen, there was a Pixar screen, I guess 4, and a Star Wars screen and a Marvel screen. I don't think that had Marvel, actually. I think it was just Star Wars and the other 2.
That is such a Disney thing to do.
But they were cheap. It was a $5 movie, and you didn't know what you were going in to see.
Right, but just like they love to do, like, I feel like they were some of the first ones to do like blind bags and that sort of thing. Like, oh my God, what are you gonna get? It's all part of the mystery. Collect them all. Of course, they found a way to do that in a movie theater. I'm not saying it's not fun. I'm just saying it's very Disney.
Yes.
Very, very.
I wish I had time to go.
But honestly though, if someone did the same thing for a James Bond movie, it's like $5 and you're just gonna watch and it'll be any one of them, I would go to like all of them.
Yeah. I know. I was looking at how long each movie was. I'm like, all right, I can guess based on how long it is.
Yeah.
What they're playing.
Exactly. And honestly, like if it was James Bond, there would be some that I'd be super excited for, but I wouldn't be upset about any of them, really.
Right. Yeah. Seeing them in theaters, like that's for James Bond especially, you weren't alive for the majority of them.
The first one that I saw in theaters was Tomorrow Never Dies, and I have seen all of them since then. That
was 97. Okay.
97. Well done. I have seen a retro screening of On Her Majesty's Secret Service, because George Lazenby was also there to do a Q&A.
Lovely.
He's still a cad. Love him for who he is. And I don't think I've seen any of the other ones in a theater since then. But yeah, like anytime an opportunity pops up to see a Bond movie in theater, regardless of which one it is, like of course I'm going to go do it.
Yeah. I mean, I did at the beginning of the year when movie theaters first started opening again. Yeah. I went to go see Lilo and Stitch in theaters.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
And that was so fun. It's so pretty.
Yeah, it'd be fun to see in theaters. Okay, wait. I mean, let's take a moment here. What is the one movie you have not seen in theaters that you would really want to? Because you have seen Who Framed Roger Rabbit in theaters.
I have now.
Because we were there. Yes. We were there for that. We did an episode on it.
I don't think I've seen Speed Racer in theaters.
I don't think I did either, actually. I don't think I saw it in theaters.
Because I would, my friend Dylan had it, and his dad had like the home theater, so it felt it had the reclining chairs.
Yeah, it was a good experience. Yeah. I don't. You know what? I have not seen Clue. I think I had tickets once to go, but it was like a midnight screening, and I got drunk instead, and I didn't make it. I have seen Casablanca in theaters.
That's a good one.
At least once, maybe twice. I know at least once I've seen that in theaters. But yeah, I've not seen Clue in theaters to my recollection.
Yeah, I've seen Scott Pilgrim a few times in theaters now.
You saw it again in theaters recently.
Yeah, I saw it for the 10th anniversary.
Yeah.
And I was there for the first screening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably say Speed Racer is my number one.
Yeah, I think
and
Speed
then like
Racer.
Hercules is probably. I don't think I've seen Hercules in theaters.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I did. Would have been old enough, but no, there you go. Yeah, I don't know. I guess you want to write in and let us know what.
Yeah, well, we'll bring questions back. Why not?
What movie you really want to see in theaters? You can reach us. But if you do want to reach us for that or any other reasons, if you want to shame Cameron and his lack of Scooby-Doo knowledge, as you should, you can find us at Timm Talk Pod on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Gmail. You can find me at Lordifer on Twitter and Instagram.
Yes, if you want to see my art, you can find that at Cameron.Dexter. If you want to see my face, you can find that at CamDexter_adventures.
All right, we will be back next episode covering Chaos at the Earth's core and To Another Shore. I do not remember either of these, so
Neither do I.
Shall be interesting. But
yes.
Until then, thanks for listening, everybody, and bye-bye.
Bye.
Ba 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 ba
Ba ba ba ba na 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 na. Ba 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 na 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 na. Beautiful.
Flawless that time.
Oh, I wouldn't use that word.